Wednesday, May 16th, regular kids. We're going to be talking about That Was Then, This Is Now. Let's see real quick. Hall passes can be turned in. iPads are turned in tomorrow during science. That doesn't help you guys if you're at home. Just don't be lazy. We have the 9 weeks assessment / semester exam. Oh, he's sitting in the hallway. Right over yonder. It's on my website, so you can go ahead and take a look at that. So you can turn that in, do Friday. If you don't have it done Friday, then you'll be more than welcome to do it during class on Friday. Take the test on Monday. Then, let's see, still a chance to buy things for 2 more days. Then, with the book, That Was Then, This Is Now. Let's see, so we can run through and try to answer questions and help you guys out from there. We got through quite a bit with you guys. I know I did this with you guys yesterday. Did we get to them on the ribbon? Did we talk about that at all with you guys?
Yeah, I don't think I talked about it. I remember reading it.
So we got to Eminem's new poor choice he's making.
Yes.
The fact that he's now smoking pot. They start talking about LSD.
Yes.
And the fact that, because that's going to play the scene that we're hopefully going to get to today, which we might not get to until tomorrow. But it's going to be connected to that one. When they talk about the ribbon, real quick, because it plays a big role in there, that's probably something you guys might not be as familiar with. What it was called cruising. And it's when teenagers, you get in a car, and then you find a place in the city where all the other teenagers go. And it's a part of the town where it has like a road where you basically just drive down the road, turn around, drive back. And the whole time you're driving, you're just looking for other people on the road, and you just basically wave and flirt at them. I did it when I was in high school, but we did it down in Indianapolis. If you've ever been down to Indy, they have the Circle, which has the big monument tower in the middle of it, and you can sort of drive around it. When I was a kid, the high school kids used to go down to the Circle, and we just cruise around it, and you just drive around that circle. And we used to go down there in my friend's mom's minivan, and we would sort of put the side doors back on it, and we'd sort of cruise around in a circle, and you would try to flirt with all the girls, stuff like that. We thought we were much cooler than we really were. And so that's the same thing they're doing here. It's just this strip of road where they drive up and down it, flirting with each other, stuff like that, stopping at the restaurants and things like that. While they're in the process of doing that, we talked about the Corvette boys with you guys yesterday either? No. So that is a scene we'll get to real quick too. When they're cruising, I forgot, they talk about the fact that all 4 of them, Mark and Brian, and then what's his other name? Eminem and Kathy are all 4 of them sitting in the front seat. The reason they can do that is because this was called a bench seat. The way a bench seat works, if you know anyone has like a truck, a lot of trucks have a bench seat where it's just one long seat that goes across. That's what they had in the cars in that front spot, or the front seat. It would just be one big long bench, and so they could all 4 of them sit next to each other. So that's how they're sitting as they go driving along. They pull up, and these 2 boys in a Corvette pull up next to them, and then they had 2 boys in the Corvette essentially say really insulting, nasty, horrible things to Kathy, who's in the car. It's so bad that when they say them out loud, Eminem's hair gets blown back. He's like, what? When his little hippie hair goes flying back because the words are that awful. The thing is, they're not sure how to get revenge because they just insulted Brian's girlfriend. Anything they say out loud will also insult her because she'll hear them say it. So Mark solves the problem. And Mark just jumps out of his car, runs over to the Corvette, pulls the guy out, punches him in the face a bunch of times, and then jumps back in the car, and they pull out and they drive away.
And run.
And that becomes this issue with Mark and Brian, and the fact that Mark and Brian, beginning of the book, Mark and Brian were very close friends, brothers basically. But then Brian meets Kathy, and he starts hanging out with Kathy even more, and Mark and Brian start going in different directions, friendship-wise. This scene is another one of those them going in different directions, where they start fighting over the fact that Mark defended Brian's girlfriend, and then Kathy is upset with Mark because she says violence is not the answer. She's a little on the hippie side, but it's more about those 2 friends going in different directions. While they're on the ribbon, after they have the fight with the Corvette, how old is Eminem? 13. What is it Eminem decides to do while they're there?
He just leaves.
He runs away. Basically, runs away from home. They stop the car. He gets out. He's like, I'm not coming home again. He's upset with the fact that his parents are always yelling at him, the fact that he's failing classes, the fact that they don't like him being a hippie. He runs away from home at 13. Disappears like the next big chunk of the book. Where
Teachers, pardon the interruption.
Yes,
all students who will be taking AP World History at Fishers High School should report to the Media Center for a mandatory informational meeting. Students who will be taking AP World History at Fishers High School report to the Media Center for a mandatory informational meeting. Thank you.
None of you guys. And so the fact he runs away from home to disappear and does not show up again until much later in the book. Skip that part for now. Brian does get a new job because he tried working for Charlie. Oh, I forgot. The car they're driving around in. Where do they get the car that Brian is driving around in? And that was Charlie's car, and of course, why does Charlie not want it back? He's dead. It's kind of hard to take the car back when you're dead. So Brian gets to keep it because Charlie's no longer around. Brian finally does get a new job, and it's not a very exciting job. It's not working in a bar or anything cool. He's just working at a grocery store bagging groceries, and that's it. But at least it's something where he's getting paid for it. The scene with Angela. To back up a little bit. Who is it that Angela was dating? Brian. And then who is it she breaks up Brian for? Ponyboy. But Ponyboy, of course, does not go out with her, and that's when she hires the guy to go beat up Ponyboy. Who gets beat up instead? Now, the issue is, way back at the very beginning, we had that story between Mike and Connie, when Mike gave Connie a ride home and her brothers beat him up. And at that scene, Mark says, if anybody ever did something like that to me, I'd hate them for the rest of my life. Basically meaning the fact that I'm going to get revenge and kill them. Angela did something awful to Mark. So Mark decides he's going to get revenge. He comes up with a plan to get revenge. They end up, shortly after that night, cruising. They drop off Kathy to go home and tell the parents. Brian and Mark keep on cruising. They run into Angela, who's drunk. By the way, Angela is also 16 years old and married. But there's a reason why she's married at 16 years old. And it goes back to a conversation we had during The Outsiders, where only reason she got married, she thought she got pregnant. And so it's a scene when they first show up and he sort of talks to her. She's like, the only reason I even got married to was I thought I was going to have I thought I was, but then I wasn't. And so that's why she ends up getting married at 16. And then it turns out she wasn't pregnant. So now she's married to a guy she doesn't even like. Angela's not a very happy person. Mark decides to get revenge on her. One of the things that Angela is best known for is her hair. She has long hair. Went down past her butt kind of hair. For those of you who actually have hair, not me, you'll know that that's the kind of hair that takes a little bit longer than a summer to grow. So she's been growing it for a long time. Mark can't kill Angela because that'd be wrong, but he can definitely get revenge on her. So he comes up with a plan to get revenge. And that's what he does. He gets her really drunk first. He invites her out, and so they go cruising back and forth, and they go out for a while. He goes out and buys her alcohol. She complains about the fact that she hates her husband, the fact that her husband's father is always flirting with her and slapping her butt. And she's like, my life is awful. I hate everything. You're the only person who's ever nice to me. And keeps complaining the fact that Brian is the only good thing that ever happened to her entire life. And Mark keeps giving her alcohol until she passes out. Once she passes out, Mark then goes and cuts off all of her hair. Now, when he cuts her hair, it doesn't cut her hair down to my length, but cuts her hair probably closer to like Lurton's length, because he has longer hair than I do. So something like that, where she still has hair, but not like down past your butt kind of hair, but a much shorter kind of hair. Probably closer to a bob kind of thing. And then, once they cut her hair, they take this big long thing of hair, tie it into a knot, drive her to her house, throw her into the yard, throw the hair on top of her, and then just leave her there for her family to find her the next day. Now the problem is, now that Mark's gotten revenge, what's going to happen next?
She's going to get revenge on by Cat.
Now she has to get revenge, because that's sort of how it keeps going and cycling up. But we're going to find out Angela doesn't get the revenge herself. She uses someone else to get revenge, because of someone she's related to. That's where her brothers come in, Tim and Curly. And Tim and Curly can't currently get revenge because they're in jail. But we're going to find out shortly if they get out of jail.
Good afternoon, folks. In just a few minutes, or a couple of minutes, we'll begin the 7th grade locker cleanup.
We have 2 minutes.
The intention is for students to get rid of trash out of their lockers, return any library books that may need to be returned, remove locker signage, notes, things like that, pack up clothes